Hey, this is David for Big Bits, and this is our Bitcoin Daily Update. I also wanted to give an update on the giveaway that we had started last week, and as you can see, it is over. There was a winning entry, and there's 785 total entries, which is pretty good. I didn't really advertise the giveaway much at all. It's mostly for the people returning to the channel and those who are just kind of finding their way on here now. So congratulations to the winner. I've already contacted them and paid them. If you're curious, this is the transaction that shows the $10. I guess Ethereum has dropped some in price, so the value went down somewhat. But you know that was a contest rule. So I was going to give out $10 in Ethereum at the time, and it was, and I paid the winner. So going forward, I think we're going to continue to do giveaways. I'm going to bump up the amount, and I'm going to start advertising those just a little bit. Maybe, well, not advertising them, but listing them on contest giveaway sites and things like that, so that more people become aware of the channel and hopefully start watching the videos so that we can continue to make content. Now, the content that I'm speaking of, if you haven't seen, is the indicator development series for TradingView right now. That's just where we're getting started. We're going to continue and do a lot of different stuff on this channel, but for now we're starting there because I am very much focused on trading, development related to trading and so forth, mostly crypto trading, if you're not familiar. But we're going to continue to do the giveaways. I think the next giveaway is probably going to be $25 or $50. And I'm not sure if it's going to be in Ethereum again or if I'm just going to do an Amazon gift card. If you have a preference or you think you know what people would like, please let me know in the comments, because I'm kind of weighing the pros and cons of this. And I think an Amazon gift card would probably get more people involved. But I think Ethereum is more in the spirit of the channel since it is crypto related content a lot of the time. So just leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on that if you have one. But anyway, let's get to the daily update. Now, the big thing that I did today was I published the 7th script in the scripting tutorial series that we've been working on. The video isn't out yet. I have those scheduled to come out every few days at this point, so there will be another one later this week, and then hopefully another one a few days after that, and a few days after that, and then we'll see where we are. I'm probably not going to have an 8th script in the tutorial ready by the time the 7th video comes out because of some plans that I have coming up, but we are going to continue to do some things here and continue to push out some content over the next week or two, and then it'll ramp back up again later on. I'm probably going to wait to do the giveaway then. But anyway, back to the script. As you can see here, this is the Bitcoin daily chart. We just closed another green candle here. Nice wicks on both ends. It looks like it tested the 200-day moving average yet again. It actually wicked above it, so there might have been a lot of buying from people who were expecting it to break, and it did not hold that break. Anyways, with this particular script, I have added in the ability to chart different time frame moving averages. So this moving average is actually the 100-week moving average. So what we have here on the yellow is the 200-day moving average, and you can see that prices are holding just below that 200-day moving average, but the 100-week moving average is acting as some sort of support. Now, another indicator I worked on a live stream the other day was this smooth RSI, and I like this one to kind of get an idea of when RSI has been oversold for an extended period of time, because the smooth value, this yellow line, tends to come towards oversold. And as you can tell, a lot of time when it goes into overbought or oversold territories and it starts to change directions, it's a good point to change your position. So, I mean, it called the peak pretty well on these two. And if you're curious, it is using a double exponential moving average on the RSI line itself. So it's an EMA of an EMA. And it is looking pretty good on the daily chart here recently as far as predicting these reversals on the tops and the bottoms. I'm pretty impressed with it. And if we get another green candle, it might move up again. But of course, this stuff, it's all very subjective, because let's go back here. Yeah, so the major, and I've called this an anomaly in the past, and it was, because Bitcoin's never seen oversold levels for this long. But anyway, when it started to change directions here on the smoothed RSI, you can see this was actually a pretty good spot to buy some, but it continued, the price continued to drop even though the RSI stayed low, and it even started heading back down again. And that's just how impressive the selling was during that particular period of time. Now, could it be like that? Perhaps, and a lot of times this is the case when you go oversold or overbought, like up here. A lot of times it'll come back down again and either form a divergence or just kind of do like a double tap down here, and then the smooth line either pops down below, or it'll kind of confirm that it's moving back up. I have a feeling, uh, based on my other indicators that I typically use, that the price is probably going to come back down. You can see I charted that idea out on here the other day. Let me add those indicators back on the chart. That would be the MACD and the stochastic RSI. And it looks like I was typing in the wrong thing. All right, let's get the stochastic RSI up there. This honestly doesn't look too bad. For as bad as of a dip that was, for the MACD to have leveled out, that's pretty impressive. Now, just because the divergence between the MACD line and its signal are narrowing does not mean that it's going to be guaranteed to cross. As you can see, like right here, the divergence started to lower, and then it increased again as there was more selling, and it just doesn't guarantee that it's going to cross, but it's usually a good sign, particularly when you cross from oversold on stochastic RSI going into the neutral zone. And we have our smooth RSI holding above here. It's pretty much a deciding point, and from my opinion, I think that this 200-day moving average, if this gets broken, then we're probably going to resume the wonderful bull market that we had before, and things are going to continue to go up again. Whereas what I kind of expect, and I don't know why the drawings aren't on here now, I must have cleared them out, but let me draw this again at my red line here. What I expected was on this stochastic RSI was some sort of movement like this, where and you can see that over here, where the price would come back up here, like as it has, and then it would go back down and then come back up again. And you can see it did something like this here and here until it finally shot back up to stochastic RSI oversold. And essentially what this is going to look like on the chart on the RSI is we're going to have this first dip down here. You can see this lines up well with the RSI going oversold. And then you're going to have a second dip into oversold territory, or if the RSI climbs up closer to this neutral range, then it's going to dip down just a little bit, and that's probably enough to get the stochastic RSI to go down low enough if the red candles are big enough. But that's kind of what I expect, and that doesn't mean anything. These are just kind of lines I draw for fun, trying to predict what the indicators are going to do. But for now, to me, it seems pretty clear. We're stuck in between this 100-week moving average as support and the 200-day as resistance, and I kind of expect to see something here. And this is one of the things that I really like about developing indicators and doing this indicator development series, is that we can do whatever we want with these indicators. We don't have to rely on other people to code what we want. So I wanted to see these different moving averages, but I also wanted to be able to control the resolution for them. So being able to see this on a 100 week is great. Let's actually zoom in, kind of speaking, on the 4-hour chart. Now let's take a look, and let's change the 200 MA there to the daily resolution, and you can see this a little bit better on the 4-hour chart, how it's acting as support there and now resistance, where the 100 week was and is support still for the time being. So it's going to be interesting. It looks like stochastic RSI is ready to flip here, and prices may start to trend downward. Now this red line was just for fun here. You can kind of ignore that one. Okay. So yeah, that's about where we're at, and it looks like it's dropping beneath this 50 moving average. So it caught it back up to its 50 period moving average on the 4-hour, and now it's heading back down. It's meeting that as resistance. So I see another test of the 100 week coming up most likely, and you can see the divergence on the MACD on the 4 hours lowering, and usually across when when the MACD goes really low like this, a lot of times if you follow me, you'll know that it'll come back up, the MACD will, on pretty sideways action. And granted, there's been some pretty good ups and downs here, but for the most part, it's been sideways in this range, and the MACD has continued to climb all the way up here. A lot of times when it does that, the next cross, if it's in the same direction as the one before, uh, will be around this neutral range, around 0. So a lot of times it'll climb back up to around 0 in a neutral range, and it'll dip back down. So there's a lot I've learned just from watching the charts to see what kind of happens over time, and that's kind of a tell on the MACD that we're kind of getting close to some action, and from experience I think it's going down. But not financial advice. Definitely don't long or short on any of this. This is all just for fun. I'm mainly focused on doing the development here and keeping up with Bitcoin for myself. So if you're following the channel, don't think I'm telling you to buy or sell, please. It's in the description of every video. But that's it for now on Bitcoin. I've given you my thoughts. I think it's going down. Please check out my profile on TradingView. I have just posted, like I said, the 7th in the scripting tutorial. I also have the smoothed RSI, so you can find that there. And let's see. I also post my ideas here. I need to get back in the habit of doing this more. But essentially, when I have things like this come up where I can spot these resistances and supports, then I like to post those there. And my time has been very busy lately, so I haven't been able to do this as much as I like, but that's what we're going to come back to, and we're going to start doing that again. Now, if there's anything else you'd like to see as far as the indicators, please let me know. We're coming to an end, I believe, with this resolution stuff on the moving averages. And I mean, I could always do more on this smoothed RSI, or we could work on some sort of other indicator. But if there's anything else you'd like to see, just let me know. I really don't mind to do these. They're mostly just for fun and to get some people watching the channel, honestly. So if you have something you'd like to see, please let me know, and just keep watching. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, there's actually one more thing. I wanted to cover the EOS news versus the SEC, and there was also a new one today with Block 1. I did want to talk about that for just a moment. Let me pull this up. This will take just a moment. I forgot to do this before I was getting ready here. Okay. All right, so you can see SIA, or SIA, however you want to pronounce it, they sold some securities, some tokens for, and they raised, what, $120,000, which not that impressive, honestly, for these ICOs, but you'll notice they had a $225,000 settlement with the SEC. Now, if you read the article, you'll know that what they did was they clearly sold a security to U.S. citizens. It's really straightforward. They had the security, they marketed and sold to U.S. citizens. It was really straightforward, and I think the reason that they were settling for so much is it was pretty punitive, a punishment, So a lot of people were upset today, especially after yesterday, that this happened, and yet EOS, which raised, I think they said like $4 billion or something like that, was only having to settle for $24 million. And that seems like a slap in the face to these people who settled today. I mean, you have to wonder how you feel yesterday if you're on the SIA team, and you're watching the news come out that somebody else settled for a fraction, and then the next day you have to pay pretty much twice what you gained. So there is a key difference here, though, and I was trying to point that out earlier. But with this particular security, they marketed and they tried to sell specifically a guaranteed profit to U.S. customers, and that's just not okay. You can't do that unless you have a registered security that you're selling. So this is why it's so egregious. Well, not egregious. I mean, they deserve, I think, the punitive damages here, and it's not too significant. It might put them out of business, but I doubt it. I think this was just one of several coins that they used to raise money. Yeah, but essentially yesterday with EOS, they had a $24 million settlement on $4.1 billion in security sales. So why is there so much smaller? I'm seeing a lot of people on crypto Twitter, on all these different places complaining, "Oh my God, they are in on this. They are, paying off the mafia. They're doing something stupid." Read all kinds of dumb stuff on crypto Twitter. Don't believe half the crap you see there. My goodness. Anyways, if you actually look into the case, you'll see that EOS blocked US IPs and made people confirm that they weren't U.S. citizens, but still U.S. citizens got in. So apparently that wasn't enough. I think maybe the only thing lacking there was KYC. They didn't collect identification to confirm identities of the people who were investing, which, to be fair, that's probably why they had to settle. And honestly, they were able to show that because of all of those measures, that not everyone, and even in fact a very small percentage of the 4.1 billion of the investments came from US citizens. To me, I think that is the reason why they only had $24 million in settlement, is because they were probably able to prove where a lot of their funds came from. And the fact that they went through all of the measures to try and prevent it from happening. Now, it still happened, and they probably had to pay for it because of that. But, and I mean, what else can you say? I mean, they did just about as much as you could hope for, other than actually registering the security. And they did go through a lot of links to prevent it from being sold to U.S. citizens. So I think that's the reason why theirs is, frankly, puny, percentage-wise, compared to the one today with SIA. And I don't get why people just look at these headlines and they see these numbers and they think, "Oh my goodness, they had to pay 200% of what they made, and yet yesterday EOS only had to pay a fraction of a percent. This isn't fair." Every case isn't the same. Look at the cases and determine the facts for yourself. In my opinion, this is why it happened. And I lose a lot of respect for some people who are making comments on this stuff and they haven't even put 1 ounce of thought into it. So please, when you're out there, pay attention. Like, I mean, people are out there to tell you their side of the story, or they just want your attention. They don't care what they say. I'm trying not to be like that. I'm trying to give you a clear, honest picture of what's going on. And in my opinion, that's what's going on. I'm no lawyer or anything, but from my view, that's exactly why they did it. And I don't think the SEC is going to do anything stupid to where they're not going to get the money they deserve out of something. They know EOS made $4.1 billion. Do you really think they're not going to try and get every penny that they can out of that? It doesn't make any sense, especially when they're pulling everything they can out of a sale that only raised 120,000. They're doing everything they can to get it out of that, but yet there's 4.1 billion setting aside somewhere else. You think they're dumb enough to not come get any money that they think they have the right to? I mean, you can say what you want about the SEC and some of the people on it and their opinions on crypto, but they're not stupid. They understand cryptocurrency, they understand securities, they understand all this. It's their job, and they've been doing it for a really long time. And if there was more money to be had from the 4.1 billion, they would have had it. But thank you. That is all for now. I'm gonna be done I look forward to seeing you all again. And like I said, we're going to start another giveaway soon. So keep your eyes, follow on social media. You'll see it posted there. Thank you and have a good one. See, there's one more thing I have to do here, huh?